It's the nature of the beast, isn't it? If you're a Brighton fan, you don't really want to consider your club as a stepping stone. But you take the emotion out of it. If you take the emotion out of football and you take some of the tribalism out of it, what you got left? You've got not a lot left, have you? You know, that's why football is so emotively invested in. That's why the guys get so much money. That's why the broadcasters want it, because of this nature that you have. Now, if you look at it and take it out and say, what did he do? He did a great job for Brighton. He's absolutely right. Did a great job. That doesn't mean he can go back and take all their players and backroom staff. But notwithstanding that, you come back to a place where you've managed previously, you're going to get a little bit of that. As long as it doesn't spill into something that's more than that, I don't really see anything more than he probably would have expected. What does he expect? A red carpet? You left because it suited you. You didn't stay because you were staying with Brighton because they gave you an opportunity and what you did was your job.
Yeah.
You did your job. You were brought in to do a decent job. You did a decent job. You weren't brought in to do a crap job. So you did your job, and the reward for Brighton is you go off to a bigger opportunity. So there's going to be an element. Now, the fact is, the management of Brighton, whether it's Tony or his brother Darren, all think very highly of him. And they realised that he did a good job for them, and they made 20 million quid out of his departure, up and onwards.
Yeah. It's I must admit, Graeme, I know it sounds naive, but I was surprised by it, that he came in for any flight whatsoever. Because considering what he did in his time there...
Yeah, it's disappointing. I think it was almost faultless, his performance. Was it 3 years he was there? Other than win too many away games and not enough at home. What are you pulling the face
I'm looking
already?
at you because I want to see where you're going with this.
What look is that?
Well, it's an interesting look. I'm narrowing the look down to make sure that I'm focused on hanging on every single syllable.
As usual,
I didn't interrupt you. Off you go.
Yeah, I know.
Go on.
As usual,
Just focus on me, Graeme. Ignore him.
No, I like
Focus
to
on
look
me.
at him.
I know you do.
As usual, he was jumping in.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't say anything. I just looked at you.
What was the
with
point?
the strangest of looks.
What was the point you were going to make, Mrs.
I think he
Souness?
did a fabulous job. And why he pulled a face, because he didn't let me finish the sentence, was he didn't win enough home games. He won lots of away games, lots of home games, but he went in there, he ticked every box. Everything he was asked to do, he did and more. And he's left him in great shape, upwards and onwards for him. As you've just said, they got £20 million for him. I don't get it personally. I don't know what more he could have done.
You weren't particularly enamoured with the hiring of De Zerbi. Well, no,
I don't think he was particularly enamoured with Chelsea's hiring of him, Graham Potter. That's why I narrowed my eyes and looked at him across the table, because I don't think he was a massive advocate of him.
No, I was talking about his performance at Birmingham. You don't listen. You're
Brighton.
You're like a barrister. Many years ago, Jim, I had
you up in court straight away.
Let me tell you, I had a libel case against George Carman, who's regarded as a number one.
He was a very good QC.
I'm talking. It's my story.
Well, is it a long one?
I had 2 days in the dock against George Carman, who was regarded as the number one barrister around at the time. So anything this
he wasn't
manager killer fires at me, I can deal with.
I see.
What was the question?
How did you emerge from that court case? Victorious? Of
course.
Oh, I see. There's never any doubt.
You mean your barrister did? He won the case. Or did you win it on your own?
I think you'll find.
Graham won it on his own. Were you standing there with a white wig on and conducted your own defence?
Have you been involved in one?
Very much so.
Oh, it's scary.
Fantastic. When I took Dowie to court for fraud and got him done.
Scary.
Yes. Graeme, I know the Leeds result raised an eyebrow or two, but this one certainly did. I mean, did you, in your wildest dreams, think Chelsea would go there and get in the wrong end of a 4-1 result?
I have been in football a very long time, as I've alluded to many times today. I said to myself, it would be typical of them to go there and get beat today at Chelsea.
Yeah, but well beaten.
Well, there's a couple of OGs.
Who'd you say that to?
I said it to myself.
Oh, okay.
When you get to my age, you do speak to yourself on occasion.
I know that feeling.
On occasion.
Yeah, it's when the mirror speaks back.
It's so typical of football.
Yeah.
To throw up a result like that.
Were you surprised at the way that Brighton... I mean, okay, there's a unique atmosphere in that game, and the players would have been, oh, right, you're coming back here, are you? But were you surprised in what they did to Chelsea? Because they murdered them, didn't they?
Chelsea did shoot themselves in the field, didn't they? 2 OGs.
Because they're under pressure, though, weren't they?
They were up for it.
Yeah.
They were up for it, and it was their day. Chelsea had their moments, but it was Brighton's day.
Graeme, I was just going to mention, just before we hit the break, Raheem Sterling, can you honestly say that this has worked? Chelsea taking him there. He hasn't scored a league goal for the club since August. Subbed off after an hour. It's a World Cup just around the corner. Raheem can be none too pleased with the way it's gone for him since he went there. I'm not entirely sure the Chelsea support are enamoured by what he has or hasn't done. He's being employed as a wing back, right?
I was going to say, I watched the highlights. So what I've read is that Pulisic on one side, him on the other side is wing backs. The last place Raheem Sterling wants to play is a wing back. That is a graveyard shift. It's hard. It's a hard shift, up and down. You're expected. It's one for young athletic men. He wants to be through the middle scoring goals. He will not have enjoyed playing there. And really, I mean, we were talking about Newcastle earlier, an opportunity they have to get into Europe in the top 6.
Yeah.
Top 4, maybe.
At the expense of?
At the expense of, and you're looking at Liverpool not bang at it.
Right.
Chelsea are not bang at it right now.
Yeah. So De Zerbi got the result that he wanted, and Brighton got the win that they were wanting under him. Chelsea back to the drawing board. For us, coming up to 12:30.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.